Quick word. Okay, so sometimes your ability to receive something from God is determined by your ability to release things that God has already given you. I think sometimes when we hold on to blessings for too long, they can become burdens. Because I think when we look at the word, it says, and it came to pass. It doesn't say, and it came to stay. So that means God is a God of motion. He's always moving. So when we understand that sometimes the frustration that we could be going through and that I've gone through sometimes is from a place of understanding that, okay, God is moving and I'm still standing still. So that frustration is basically not you fighting the devil, but you're fighting yourself and you're fighting God. So being able to understand that God is a God who's always moving, He's a God of motion, and being able to understand that for us to have alignment with God so that we can access the will that He has for our lives is very important. So I repeat this, your ability to receive certain things from God is also dependent on your ability to release things that God has given you. And sometimes I think it also depends on your ability to release things to God, that even when you want something new, you have to get rid of the old. Meaning that when you look at the word, it says in Isaiah, it says, forget the former past things, see I'm doing a new thing in you. Being able to understand and really creating a place in your spirit where you understand that something new is not always bigger. Sometimes it's not always better. Sometimes it's going to be deeper. That blessings are not always going to be bigger. Sometimes they are going to be deeper. Meaning that when something is deeper, you have to understand that it's not always going to be comfortable either way. Because when we look at getting something deep from God, that means there's a certain pursuing that you have to do. There's a certain seeking that you have to do to get something deeper from God. So getting rid of this mentality where I'm praying for a blessing and I want it to be big, sometimes you have to pray for something deep. Because I feel like something deeper may last longer than something bigger. But that's a different word. Okay, so I repeat this. Your ability to receive something from God is determined by your ability to release things that you've already gotten from God, and your ability to release things to God. Letting go and letting God. Basically just giving God certain things that you can't control and just being able to trust Him in the season that you're in. Also, last thing would be, do not be bound to a season. To a point where a season sometimes can make us feel like it's a lifestyle. Example would be a season of growth determines a lot of endurance. So endurance sometimes feels like it's pain, and we begin to look at our life as a painful life. It's just a painful season. It's not a painful life. So do not be bound to a season. Be able to be flexible in your faith to a point where you understand that this is just a season. It's not going to last forever. Also, when you look at seasons don't last forever. We don't have one season throughout the year, meaning that it's going to come to pass as well. So it's going to come to pass, it's not going to come to stay. So it is going to go. But you just have to hold tight and you just have to endure in the season that you're in. So, quick word.